Anne de Breuil, The Shadow Years. Lost childhood. In the mists of the Norman winter of 1605, a child is born, without bells ringing to announce her arrival. Anne, for this will be the only name she keeps intact through the metamorphoses of her life, comes into the world in a dilapidated farm near Lisieux. Daughter of a man who may not have been her father, and a woman who will die before teaching her her true family name. The little girl grows up, wild, among the servants, fed on black bread and whispered stories. Her emerging beauty contrasts cruelly with the roughness of her environment. Her pale gold hair catches the candlelight like a challenge to fate, and her eyes, of a blue so deep they sometimes seem black, already carry that troubling intensity that will mark all her future gazes. At 8, she knows how to lie with the ease of an adult. At 10, she has understood that her beauty is a weapon. When the master of the house looks at her too intently, she does not retreat, she observes, she learns, she calculates. For Anne de Breuil, even as a child, possesses that cold intelligence that transforms each humiliation into a lesson, each wound into strength. The awakening of ambition. Adolescence finds her in a convent in Caen, not by vocation but by necessity. A distant cousin, seized by belated remorse, has agreed to pay her board, perhaps hoping to redeem the family's sins. But sacred walls cannot contain a nature like hers. Anne learns Latin with disconcerting ease, masters the art of embroidery and music, but above all, she studies faces. She observes the nuns in their pettiness, their jealousies, their hidden weaknesses. She discovers that even under the veil, women remain women, with their secrets and unspoken desires. It is there, in this supposed sanctuary of purity, that she first meets the one who will become her first husband, a young nobleman visiting, charmed by this boarder with already perfect manners and such a troubling gaze. His name is de Breuil, and this name resonates like a promise of social ascension. Anne is only 15, but she already knows how to recognize opportunities. The marriage takes place in discretion. Not out of modesty, but because the bride's troubled origins must not tarnish the brilliance of the name she is about to bear. Anne officially becomes Dame de Breuil, and with this title, she acquires her first true identity, one she has chosen rather than endured. Learning manipulation. The first months of marriage reveal to Anne the extent of her naivety. Her husband, whom she thought weak and malleable, proves to be a violent and suspicious man. But rather than breaking under the blows and humiliations, she develops her first real survival techniques. She learns to read the warning signs of masculine anger, to diffuse violence through feigned submission, to transform pain into a mask of resignation. More subtly, she discovers the art of suggestion, a phrase dropped at the right moment, an emphatic look, an eloquent silence. She begins to weave around her husband an invisible network of small influences, manipulations so delicate that he takes them for his own ideas. It is during this period that she meets the one who will truly teach her the art of espionage, a mysterious man, close to Cardinal Richelieu, who occasionally frequents the Breuil castle. He notices the young woman's intelligence, her capacity for observation, her natural talent for dissimulation. Their conversations, initially mundane, gradually become lessons. She learns secret codes, the art of deciphering correspondence, techniques for extracting information without seeming to. But above all, she understands that information is power, and that this power can free her from all chains. The first betrayal. The turning point of her life comes during a particularly harsh winter. Her husband, in a fit of jealousy, strikes her more violently than usual, leaving her with a brand mark on her shoulder, that fleur-de-lis that will remain forever engraved in her flesh as a reminder of her original condition. That night, something breaks definitively in Anne. Not her spirit, this remains intact, even sharpened by pain, but the last bonds that still attached her to a certain idea of innocence. She decides that never again will she submit. Never again will she be a victim. The weeks that follow see the birth of the first true machination of the one who will become Milady. With diabolical patience, she begins to slowly poison her husband, using her knowledge of herbalism acquired at the convent. Not enough to kill him, not yet, but enough to make him sick, weakened, dependent. Simultaneously, she seduces the doctor who treats him, then his notary, weaving around the dying man a network of men conquered by her beauty and manipulated by her intelligence. When de Breuil finally breathes his last, it is in the arms of an apparently grief-stricken wife, who inherits his goods without anyone suspecting the slightest crime. The ascension into darkness. Widowed at 18, rich and free, Anne de Breuil could have chosen a peaceful life. But peace is not in her nature. She has tasted the power of manipulation, the intoxication of absolute control over others, and these sensations have become her drug. She settles in Paris, where her fortune and beauty open the doors of the most influential salons. But it is not worldly life that interests her, it is what hides behind appearances. She gradually becomes an essential figure in circles where political plots are hatched, where state secrets are exchanged. Her lovers succeed each other, chosen not by passion but by calculation. Each brings her something: information, contacts, protection. She develops a consummate art of amorous illusion, making each believe he is unique, irreplaceable, while each is for her only a pawn on the chessboard of her ambitions. It is at this time that she meets Count de Rochefort, Richelieu's confidant, for the first time. Their relationship, made of mutual attraction and mistrust, will profoundly mark their destinies. For if Anne has learned the art of manipulation, Rochefort masters that of large-scale political warfare. The birth of Milady. Milady's identity is truly born during a particularly delicate mission entrusted to her by the cardinal's entourage. It involves seducing a foreign diplomat to extract crucial information about European alliances. For this mission, she must take on a new identity, completely reinvent herself. It is there that she fully measures the extent of her talent. Not only does she succeed in her mission with a brilliance that impresses her employers, but she takes such intense pleasure in it that she understands she has found her true vocation. She is no longer just Anne de Breuil, greedy and manipulative widow. She becomes Milady, spy of genius, woman of 1,000 faces. The following years see her perfect her art. She learns a dozen languages, masters fencing as well as dancing, develops a resistance to poisons that will often be useful to her. But above all, she cultivates that aura of mystery and danger that will make her a living legend. Her crimes accumulate, but always with an elegance and subtlety that make them almost admirable. She never kills in anger, always by necessity or for aesthetic pleasure. For Milady has made evil an art, and betrayal a philosophy. Thus, when she first crosses the path of the Three Musketeers, she will no longer be that abandoned child from Norman lands. She will have become one of the most dangerous women in Europe, beautiful as sin and deadly as the plague, carrying within her all the secrets of an ascension built on the ruins of her own innocence. In her eyes will still shine that flame born in childhood humiliation, but transformed by the years into a cold and merciless light, that of a woman who has made power over others her only religion, and revenge against a world that despised her, her sacred mission.